Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of war game review institutions. This is Modern War Magazine number 2 from November and December 2012, and the game is Oil War Iran Strikes. This is the second time I've had this game. I think the original copy I had in 2012, I think I did play the game and it was alright. I'm having trouble remembering. I play a new game at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, so my memories are starting to merge, but I think I've played this with the other copy and it was alright. But let's take a look through the rules real quick. Starts out with an introduction. And then it's going over the components and stuff. As you can see, it's using NATO military symbols for most stuff. And on the counter, the number is the combat factor. So they're pretty simple counters. And it's going over starting setup now. And here's the sequence of play. Or actually, let's do the how to win first. You can have an Iranian sudden death victory or a U.S. sudden death victory. If the number, for the Iranian one, if the number of victory points required for an Iranian victory ever drops to 0, play stops. And the Iranian player immediately wins. And if the number of victory points required for any Iranian victory is ever increased to 7 or more, play stops and the U.S. wins immediately. And then the rest is done with victory points, I believe. Alright, so here's the turn sequence. Iranian player turn consists of Iranian combined movement phase, Iranian Basij combat phase, Iranian Artesh RGC, Iraqi insurgent combat phase. And for the U.S. and coalition, their turn consists of non-U.S. coalition movement, non-U.S. coalition combat, U.S. movement or combat, or air power phase, and then U.S. combat or movement or air power phase, and then U.S. air power or movement or combat phase. And then there's a random events phase, and a mutual reinforcement and replacement phase. Alright, it's got some specific stacking rules here, which is different for the two sides. And it's going over zones of control here, and their supply and geographic restrictions. And it's going over the general combat resolution procedure here. And it's going over special unit characteristics. And now it's going over random events. Alright, so let's take a look at the map in here real quick. Alright, let's look at the counters first. It explained previously. Oops, got that upside down. NATO military symbols. I mean, for a magazine game, it looks alright. I mean, in the magazine game, generally, you're not expecting any more than standard NATO military symbols. Looks like it's got some Al-Qaeda counters, too. Game turn counter. And many of the counters are double-sided. Let's take a look at the map. The map's kind of unique. Like all these modern war and strategy and tactics games, it includes a big map. Start over here. So it's got a terrain key on it, and the map itself has Iraq and Kuwait on it. And then you got Iran right here. And here's the Persian Gulf down here. And then here's a terrain effects chart. A sequence of play is written on the map. And you have a random events table and a game turn record track, Iranian victory point track. And let's see what's going on down here. Here's your stacking limits table, geographic restriction table, Iranian airborne and amphibious movement, Iraqi militia loyalty table, Iraqi mobile unit loyalty, mobile unit movement factors table, and let's see what else we got on the bottom of the map here. Oh, and down here is a combat resolution table. And on the other side here, it's repeating a lot of the tables. Like you got the stacking limits table again. Actually, this is just for the U.S. on this side. And a geographic restrictions table for coalition forces. Mobile unit movement factors table, Iraqi militia loyalty, and combat results table, along with Iranian airborne and amphibious movement table. So it's really, for a huge map, it's actually not that big of a playing area, as you can see here, but there's a lot of cities and stuff, and some rivers and so forth, and it looks like some mountains. So, from I remember, I can't remember too many specifics. This is from like 8 years ago when I played this, but I believe I thought it was alright, so that's good. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and if you haven't heard, I'm selling used war games on my website, so check the video description to find the link where you can see them. Have a good evening.